Yeah. Um, Yesterday, or rather, yesterday evening, I was just strolling through my PBS subscription and just strolling through one of the posts, or rather videos, that had something to do with aging. And I'm very much into the fitness and health and wellness and aging, and so was strolling through and came across one particular um, episode where they were talking about, and a lot of these episodes are like only about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, or maybe close to 3 minutes in some cases, but a lot of great tips about aging. And the one that really caught me was one that I'm very familiar with, and some of you are very familiar with, and in a way it does have to do with our health and our wellness, because how do we transition from retirement, or transition from anything, or even being laid off when I'm getting ready to go? I got more experience with that. I'm getting ready to go into retirement. I am 62, so I'm right in there. And the one thing I got into even about 10 years ago, and I talked about this quite a bit, was turning the page. And that's key. If you're 50 or even if you're 60, it's never too late to, I always say this, turn the page. Now, with my experience, it wasn't even just about turning the page and sustaining my health and wellness, and the experiences we have when you're in your 50s, and you especially if you're somebody that exercises, or even if you don't exercise, you're dealing with a lot of things. With your physical well-being, you might have a diagnosis with a chronic condition and so forth. Now you got to get into that. With me, it was a little bit of that. But the one thing that I faced a challenge with is being laid off. And this is where I want to go with this particular video. Now, if you're somebody who went through that, and I'm particularly talking about those that are 50, and you got laid off or something happened and you're no longer working, and it can be mentally stressful because you've been there. In many cases, if you're talking about you're 50 or 60, you probably been on that job for 30 something years and some. And now all of a sudden you got to transition and go back out in the job market. It's not the same as just going out there getting a little side hustle and getting a part-time job where it's really not a big deal. It's just something to do. In this case, you got to really adjust to that new going back out, getting yourself ready, and it's like you're going back to where it was before, preparing yourself for the interviews and so forth. On the mental part, I'm going to say this. Look at it this way. Whatever you feel or however you feel about that situation, I know it hurts, it's stressful, it's depressing and so forth, because when you're somewhere and you've been there that long, they really are like family. You got to think about it. You're spending like 8 hours, maybe 12 hours of your day, 5 days a week and so forth, around people. And whatever you think, it really is like family. You go through your whatever you go through on your jobs and dealing with people, like or dislike and so forth, but it's still like family. And those people that you really feel connected to, and all of a sudden here you are, it's a disappointment, a whole lot of things going in your mind. It may even feel a little bit angry and feel like it's unfair and so forth. I just want to let you know you're really not by yourself. You're really not by yourself. There's a lot of people out there going through the same thing you're going through. I'm telling you what worked for me, to be honest with you, is having that sense of purpose even before that happened. And this is very, very important, whether it's layoff, retirement, or a combination of both, or whatever. Purpose. That's what it all boils down to. Understanding your worth. I mean, you put in a lot of years, I put in a lot of years, not only just on the job, but just living and experience and so forth. So the fact that, when it came to health and wellness, that was part of my refuge also, to get back into that and use that. For you, it may be something else. It may be gardening or farming or whatever that is. I strongly suggest people, you don't have to hesitate. Whatever moment or whatever time you have, put it into that. That's what's important. And so you make that transition. So that's my advice to people, while you're working, or whatever you're going through right now, if it's a layoff in your retirement and so forth, when we're in this 50, when we're in this 60-year age group, it's really an awesome time in our life because of our experience, and we got a whole lot to offer. So whatever you do, just understand, hey, you're still living, you're still here. Never underestimate what you have. You got a whole lot to offer. You got a lot to give out there, whether it's finding a new career or going to work somewhere, doing some volunteer work, or starting up a nonprofit or so forth. There's always some needs out there in the communities that we live in. Believe me, there's definitely a shortage and definitely a need for people to get out there and definitely make a difference. And for many of us, we got something to offer to those organizations or your church or whatever have you, in terms of making a difference and really living in your purpose. Because that's what it's all about. How can I help people? How can I make a difference in whatever way we can do? So just wanted to put that out there and, share my own personal experience. I'm okay right now working and everything, but I'm still living in my purpose with health and wellness and doing as best as I can to share my experience, whether we're talking about health and wellness or just being real about working that day-to-day job or starting up a business and so forth. And being in this age group is just a unique experience for those of us in the 50-plus age group. Okay? So, hey, take care. This is 2025, a new year, a new beginning, and that's also about turning the page and opening up a new chapter. So with that being said, be blessed. See you real soon as we journey in this, what I like to call also the ageless and well and healthy. Take care. Be blessed.